Today I will tell you how a day in the life of a samurai goes. Sleep tight. Welcome. Tonight, we require nothing from you. There is no need to focus. There is no need to follow along. Yotsan, listen, or you can drift. My voice is simply a thread of sound in the background, a companion to the quiet dark of your room. Get comfortable. Shift your body until you feel completely supported by your bed. Let your bones feel heavy. Let your muscles detach from the bone. Breathe in slowly, filling the space behind your ribs. And breathe out, letting a wave of softness travel down from your scalp to your toes. We are drifting back to a time of profound silence. A time before engines, before screens. A time when the loudest sound at night was the wind through the cedar trees or the distant bark of a fox. You are safe here. You can let go completely. Just let the sound wash over you as we begin a very long, very quiet day in the life of a peacetime samurai. The long day begins, pre-dawn. The world is indigo and gray. It is the hour before the sun thinks of rising. In your room, the air is still and cool, holding the faint, pleasant scent of dried straw, tatami mats and old, polished wood. You awake not with a start, but like a leaf floating to the surface of a pond. You become aware of your breath. In and out. The slow rhythm of a resting warrior. You lie there under the thick cotton quilt, feeling the warmth of your own body against the coolness of the room. There is no rush. There is never a rush. You listen to the silence. It is a deep, textured silence. Far away, perhaps miles down the valley, a temple bell tolls once. The sound is so low it is almost felt rather than heard. Gong, it vibrates through the wooden bones of the house and fades into nothingness. Slowly, mindfully, you push back the heavy quilt. The cool air touches your skin. You sit up on the edge of your sleeping platform. You place your feet on the smooth wooden floorboards. The wood is ancient, worn satin smooth by generations of feet before yours. The slight chill travels up through your soles, grounding you to the earth. You move through the dim room like a shadow. You approach the wash basin. The water in the ceramic bowl has sat all night, becoming perfectly still, perfectly cold. You cup your hands. You break the surface. You bring the water to your face. The cold shock is gentle, cleansing. You splash your face once, twice, 3 times. You take a rough cotton towel and pat your skin dry, feeling the coarse texture against your cheeks. Now, the ritual of dressing. This is a meditation in itself. Every layer has a purpose, every knot has a meaning. First, the underrobe of soft white cotton. It feels light and clean against your skin. Next, thajai, the indigo-dyed kimono. The fabric is sturdy, smelling faintly of the sun and the fields where the cotton grew. You pull the left side over the right, smoothing the fabric across your chest. Then, the obi, the wide sash. You wrap it around your waist 3 times. You do not tie it tight like Aker said, you tie it firm like a support beam. It settles low on your hips, cradling your center of gravity, your hara. You tie the knot with practiced fingers, a perfect, symmetrical fold that will not slip all day. Finally, the hakama, the wide pleated trousers of dark gray silk. You step into them. You tie the long cords in the complex, traditional knot at your waist. As the weight of the clothing settles upon you, you feel the mantle of your station. You are a samurai. Even in peace, you carry the weight of discipline. Dawn meditation. You slide open the shoji paper screen door leading to the veranda. The track is well oiled, the door opens with barely a whisper. Outside, the garden is emerging from the night. It is submerged in blue light. Mist hangs heavy between the twisted branches of the old pine trees, clinging like spun sugar to the needles. The stone lanterns are dark shapes covered in thick green moss, heavy with morning dew. You step out onto the wooden veranda. You sit on a small, round straw cushion in the-size position, knees bent, legs folded underneath you, spine stacked straight like a column of coins. You half close your eyes. You gaze at the moss on a rock 3 feet in front of you. You do not stare, you soften your gaze until the rock and the moss and the mist blur slightly. You begin to breathe. You breathe in, imagining the breath traveling down your spine, pooling in your belly. You breathe out, imagining the breath leaving your body like gray smoke, carrying away any lingering sleepiness. You sit. A small bird wakes up in the azalea bush. It chirps once, cheep, you hear it. You do not think about it. You let the sound pass through you like wine through a bamboo grove. You sit. A drop of dew collects on a pine needle, grows heavy, and falls onto a dry leaf below, tap, you hear it. You let it go. The light begins to change. The deep indigo slowly bleeds into a pale, milky blue. Then, the very tops off the distant mountains are brushed with pale gold. You feel the very first rays of the sun touch your face. It is not hot, just a gentle suggestion of warmth. You sit in this stillness for what feels like an hour, or perhaps only a minute. Time does not matter here, only presence matters. The morning practice, the way of wood. When the sun is fully above the horizon, you rise from your meditation smoothly, without using your hands for support. You walk along the covered wooden walkway to the small dojo at the edge of your property. The training hall is simple. Polished wooden floors, bare walls, a rack holding training weapons. The air here smells different, it smells of raw oak, old leather, and the faint, metallic scent of discipline. Today, there is no steel. Today is for form. You approach the rack and select a bakken, a wooden practice sword carved from white Japanese oak. You hold it in your hands. You know this piece of wood better than you know your own face. You know the exact weight, the balance point, the slight grain present in the handle area. It is cool and smooth to the touch. You walk to the center of the expansive floor. You stand with your feet shoulder-width apart. You grip the hilt, left hand at the bottom, right hand just below the guard. Your grip is light, like holding a small bird, firm enough that it won't fly away, gentle enough that you do not crush it. You begin thesaburi, the practice swings. These are not fast strikes. They are slow, deliberate steady soft motion. 1. You raise the sword above your head, inhaling deeply. As you exhale, you bring the blade down in a perfect vertical arc, stopping exactly at horizontal. The wood cuts the air with a deep whoosh sound, you hold the finish position. Your body is locked solid, connected to the floor, pause. 2. Inhale, raise. Exhale, cut, whoosh, the tip of the wooden sword stops dead, vibrating slightly from the force. You focus on your back muscles, ensuring they are doing the work, not just your arms, pause. 3. Raise, cut. The sound of the wood slicing the air is hypnotic. It is a rhythm. Like the heartbeat off the dojo, pause. You continue. You do not count in your head to reach a number, you count to stay in the moment. 10 cuts. 20 cuts. A light sheen of sweat begins to form on your forehead, a pleasant warmth spreading through your shoulders and back. 50 cuts. Your breath is deeper now, louder in the quiet hall. Inhale up, exhale down. 70 cuts, your mind has emptied completely. There is no past, no future. There is only the feeling of wood in your hands, the grip of your feet on the floor, the sound of the air parting before the blade. 100 cuts. You finish the last cut and hold the position longer. You are perfectly still, a statue of folk and muscle. You slowly lower the sword. You bow deeply to the empty room, a gesture of respect for the space and the practice. You return the sword to the rack, wiping it down with a soft cloth, honoring the tool. Midday meal and observation. The sun is high now. The morning mist has burned away, revealing a sky of piercing, cloudless blue. You return to your living quarters. Your midday meal is brought to you on a red lacquered tray by Assalant servant. You kneel on the tatami mat at a low table. The meal is simple. It is not meant to excite the senses, but to nourish the body. There is a black lacquer bowl filled with steaming white rice. Each grain is distinct, shining like a pearl. There is a smaller bowl with miso soup, cloudy and rich, with small cubes of tofu and ribbons of wakame seaweed floating in it. There is a small rectangular plate with a piece of salted grilled mackerel, its skin crispy and browned. There is a cup of green tea, emitting curls of white steam. A samurai does not rush food. Eating is another form of meditation. You pick up the chopsticks. They are made of cedar, light and aromatic. You lift the bowl of rice. You smell the clean, sweet steam rising from it. You take a small mouthful. You chew slowly. You taste the subtle sweetness of the starch. You feel the texture of the grains. You take a sip of the soup. The salty, earthy taste of the miso warms your throat. The soft texture of tofu contrasts with the slight chewiness of the seaweed. You eat the fish. The smoky, salty flavor is strong. You carefully separate the flesh from the bones with your chopsticks, a delicate operation requiring focus. You put down your chopsticks between every few bites. You look out into the garden. The garden is fully awake now. Sunlight filters through the maple leaves, creating dappled patterns of light and shadow on the mossy ground. You watch a large black carpenter bee buzzing around a purple iris flower. It is heavy and clumsy, its wings blurring. It lands, the flower stalks bowing under its weight. It crawls inside. You watch until it emerges and flies away. You watch the koi pond. The surface is like dark glass reflecting the sky. Every now and then, a large koi fish breaks the surface, a flash of brilliant orange, white, and black scales. It gasps for air with a small splash, sending slow, perfect concentric ripples across the pond. You watch the ripples widen, distorting the reflection of the trees, until they hit the rocky edge and fade back into stillness. You take the last sip of your tea. You feel the warmth of the ceramic cup radiating into your palms. You hold it there for a long moment, just feeling the heat, before setting it down softly on the tray. Afternoon, the maintenance of armor. The afternoon stretch is long and quiet. The house is completely silent. This is the time for maintenance, for tending to the tools of your station. You go to the alcove where your armor, yoroi, sits displayed on a wooden stand. It has not been worn in anger for many years. Yet, it must be ready. You sit before it on the floor. You bring over a small wooden box containing cleaning supplies. You begin the slow process of inspecting and cleaning the armor. You start with the helmet, thekabuto. It is heavy, made of iron plates riveted together, lacquered a deep, gleaming black. You take a soft silk cloth. You begin to wipe the lacquer plates. Slow, circular motions, you polish the metal until it shines like black water, reflecting the room around you. You inspect the neck guard, layers of curved metal plates held together by thick cords of indigo silk. You check each cord for fraying. You run your fingers along the silk, feeling its strength. You use a small brush made of badger hair to dust between the plates, reaching into every crevice where dust might hide. You move to the chest plate, feudal. You clean the iron. You check the leather straps that fasten it. You rub a small amount of neat's foot oil into the leather to keep it supple, the smell rich and earthy. You clean the shoulder guards, the arm guards, the shin guards. Each piece is a symphony of iron, leather, lacquer, and silk. You tend to each material with the appropriate tool. This is tedious work. It is repetitive. Wipe, inspect, brush, oil. Wipe, inspect, brush, oil. Your mind drifts while your hands work. You fall into a rhythm. The only sounds in the room are your gentle breathing and the soft shuff of the silk cloth against the lacquer. Hours pass in this quiet labor. You are preserving history. You are honoring the craftsman who made this armor. By the time you are finished, the sun has begun its descent, and the armor gleams in the late afternoon light, looking pristine, heavy, and imposing. Evening, the bath and reflection. The light turns golden, thick, and warm. The shadows in the garden lengthen, stretching out across the grass. The air begins to cool down again. It is time for the bath. The bathhouse is a separate small building. Inside, the air is thick with warm steam that smells intensely of hinoki cypress wood, a resinous, calming lemon pine scent. The wooden soaking tub is large and deep, filled to the brim with steaming hot water. You have already washed your body clean with soap and water outside the tub. Now is only for soaking. You step into the tub slowly. The heat is intense, almost stinging at first. You lower yourself in, inch by inch, letting your body adjust. The water rises to your chest, then your neck. You sit on the built-in wooden bench underwater. You lean your head back against the smooth edge of the tub. You close your eyes. The heat penetrates deep into your muscles, melting away the slight fatigue from the morning's sword practice and the afternoon's armor cleaning. Your limbs feel heavy and weightless all at once. You listen to the water. A small wooden ladle floats on the surface, occasionally bumping softly against the side of the tub. Bump, condensation drips from the cedar ceiling. Drip, drip, drip. The sound of your own slow breathing is loud in the steamy room. You float in the heat. Thoughts dissolve in the steam. There is only the sensation of hot water against skin, the smell of warm wood, the sound of dripping water. You stay there until your skin is flushed pink and your mind is completely blank. Nightfall, the blade and the candle. Night has fully fallen. The world outside is reduced to deep shadows and silver moonlight filtering through the trees. You are back in your room, dressed in a fresh, soft cotton yukata. You have eaten a light evening meal of vegetable broth and pickled plums. The room is dark, lit only by a single candle inside a paper and wood lantern on a low table. The light is soft, warm, and flickering, making the shadows on the walls dance gently. There is one final task before sleep. The most important one. You go to the sword stand and retrieve your katana, the long sword, in its black lacquered sheath. You carry it with both hands back to the center of the room and sit inside near the candle. You place the sword on the floor before you. You bow to it. With your left hand, you hold the sheath. With your right hand, you grip the handle, wrapped in rough sharkskin and bound with black silk cord. You push the guard with your thumb to unlock the blade. You slowly, very slowly, draw the sword. The steel slides against the wood of the sheath with a long, singing whisper. In the flickering candlelight, the steel seems alive. It is not just metal, it is a river of frozen steel, folded thousands of times by the swordsmith. You hold the blade up to the light. You see the Haman, the wavy temper line along the sharp edge, looking like mist rising from a mountain range, or white waves crashing on a shore. It is beautiful. It is deadly. It is terribly fragile. It demands care. From your cleaning kit, you take a small ball of cotton powder. You tap it along the blade, dusting it with fine white powder to absorb any moisture. You take a clean rice paper cloth. You wipe the powder away, moving from the base to the tip in long, smooth strokes. You take a tiny vial of clove oil. You put 2 drops on a fresh cloth. The scent of cloves is warm, spicy, and rich, filling the space around the candle. You apply the oil to the blade. A microscopically thin layer to protect the steel from the air. You watch as the oil makes the steel shine even brighter, a liquid mirror in the dark. The process is done. You carefully guide the tip of the blade back into the mouth of the sheath. You slide it home slowly. The final inch makes a satisfying, soft click as it seats securely. You bow to the sword again. You return it to its stand. Final sleep induction. The temple bell rings again in the far distance, deeper this time, marking the end of the day. Gong. You blow out the candle. The warm light vanishes, replaced by the cool, blue-gray darkness of the night, lit only by the pale rectangle of moonlight on the floor from the window. You crawl under your heavy sleeping quilt. The futon mattress is firm beneath you. The pillow supports your neck. You lie on your back. You place your hands gently on your stomach. You feel your belly rise and fall. Rise and fall. The day is over. There were no battles. No enemies. There was only breath. Only wood. Only water, only steel. You have fulfilled your duty of presence. Your body is heavy, sinking into the floor. The warmth of the bath still lingers deep in your bones. The scent of clove oil and old cedar wood is faint in the air. Your thoughts are slow, drifting like smoke. The image of the moss in the morning light. The sound of the wooden sword cutting the air, whoosh, the ripples on the koi pond, spreading out, and fading. The shine of the oiled steel in candlelight. They all blur together. Drifting. Sinking. The silence of the valley is a heavy blanket wrapped around your house. You are safe. Your watch is ended. Sleep now, warrior of peace. Sleep. Deep. Quiet. Sleep.